Hello, everyone, and welcome to Facts Supporting Life. My name is Ingrid. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm continuing on the subject of sin. This is where I'm sharing with you my comprehensive revelation of sin. And I'm now on my 9th video. Now, it is still on the third topic, sin that was removed versus sins that needs to be forgiven. There are two parts to this topic. First one being sin that was removed. I was closing this first part on the previous video. I was addressing the last question there as into why did Christ remove the sin? And this is where I ended on Romans 5 verse 19, and which reads, "For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous." I'll go ahead and put a link of this previous video on the description below, and that way you have easy access to that. But I'm moving on to the second part of this topic, which is sins that need to be forgiven. And I'll be addressing 3 questions there as well. First one being what sins need to be forgiven. Second one being how does Christ forgive sins? And the last one being why does he need to forgive sins? So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first question on this particular video. What sins need to be forgiven? And I would like to open here with Ephesians 1 verse 7, which reads, "In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses, according to the riches of his grace." So to fully understand the scripture, I would like to start with the meaning of both of these underlined words, redemption and forgiveness. Redemption is claiming or purchasing back what got separated from you or got taken away from you. You lost it, so you have to reclaim it back. You have to repurchase it back. While forgiveness is to absolve someone from guilt, is to pardon an offense. Now, what I need to note here is that it is done with an intention to heal a relationship, to heal what got broken or what got fallen away, is to amend that, or reinstate it back to where it is supposed to be. So in our case, us mankind, we transgressed because of our old man misleading us. And because of that transgression, we trespassed. In other words, we missed the mark because of our old man misleading us or deceiving us. And because of that, we have caused harm and offense to God's creation. And that's what trespassing is to be in the wrong place, is to cause that harm to someone's property. In our case, it is creation that we have caused harm to. So if we go back to Ephesians 1 verse 7, which is telling us that we have been reclaimed through the blood of Christ. Our offenses have been pardoned. That offense of causing harm to God's creation has been pardoned. Because God is reinstating us back to where he originally intended us to be. And he's doing all this according to the greatness of his grace. That great kindness, that favor, that goodwill that God has towards his creation, especially us mankind. Again, forgiveness is to be absolved from guilt or to be a pardon of an offense with an intention to amend or fix from where you're broken from or fallen away from. Is to reinstate you from where you got fallen away from. So where did we fall away from? Colossians 1:16 is telling us that all things were created through him and for him. They were created through Christ and for Christ. Now, creation happened in the beginning, not at the end. And please note that it says all things, not some, but all things. And us mankind, when God was planning this, he predestined us to be what? To be holy and to be without blame in him in love. And that's a reason why when he created us mankind, he specifically said, not only just in his image, you are also in his likeness, because he wanted us to be like a holy God. And so right now, We are covered by the blood of the covenant, the body, the world, in other words. This world. Christ died for the sin of the whole world. The whole world is covered by the blood of the covenant. You know what I love about blood is that now we know a little bit more, way more actually than we did when the Bible was written, or but 2,000 years ago when Christ died on the cross. Right? We medically know exactly how good blood is for us. Blood is the one that provides the body with nutrients and oxygen. It also cleans away waste like carbon monoxide. It protects us from infections. In other words, it fights those infections when they come against your body. Above all, it is the way we administer medication. That medication to heal, that medication to restore your body to where it's supposed to be. We use medication for that. And we administer that through your blood. And that's going to help you exactly to see exactly what God is doing here, what God is trying to tell us, what He's doing with forgiveness. And right now, Colossians 1:20 is telling us that He's reconciling to Himself all things by making that peace through His blood He shed on the cross. Now, according to the law, everything needs to be purified by blood. Sins are forgiven only if the blood is poured out. Since we have been reclaimed, we now need to be reinstated back to where we had fallen away from. That's what forgiveness is for. It's for that body. It's for this whole world. That body that got separated from God, that fell away from God. Why are we saying the whole world? Because Adam was given power and authority, dominion in this world. Me and you are the seed of the first man, Adam. And so that fruit of that nature that we got from our old man, that iniquity, that fruit of it is in the body, is in this world. And God is cleansing, through the blood of Christ, is cleansing the body of this iniquity and is pardoning the offense, that fruit of that nature. So thank you so much for joining me today. Go ahead and stage video as that's going to be on how does Christ forgive sins. Stay blessed.